I think the DeepSeek moment in mid-January really forced investors to really examine one of the main pillars of what's supported American exceptionalism, the outperformance of U.S. stocks, which is, you need these high-end NVIDIA chips. You're going to need a lot of data centers. You're going to need a lot of energy. And I think, time will tell, did DeepSeek really accomplish all the things they claim with such a limited investment, with such few high-end chips, utilizing such little energy? But I think it's forced the valuation comparison on investors. And I think some of the volatility around U.S. stocks, you're starting to see a re-rating back into Asia, into China, into Europe, driven by those local investors. I think the big pools of capital here in the U.S. have yet to move. And that's why we are more constructive on the space, because we think if you can get some progress made geopolitically between the U.S. and China around tariffs, it brings those investors back in.
Brendan, notwithstanding the sad and the negative headlines associated with Xiaomi, how do you feel about BYD and the EV narrative? How resilient is that particular sector given the tariff headwinds?
Yeah, I mean, those vehicles have never been available here in the United States. So certainly those companies are going where they can. They're obviously dealing with some trade talks with Europe. But certainly, if you travel in the Middle East, if you travel in South America, broader Asia, you see BYD and others. You see that demand for, well-made quality vehicles, particularly obviously in China, just from what we saw from the most recent numbers for March, very, very strong sales, both electric vehicle as well as hybrid in the case of BYD. So, yeah, we think they're a little bit immune from some of the tariff headlines since they were never allowed to be here regardless.
Brendan, very quickly, do you think TikTok could be part of a broader US-China trade deal?
I think that I've always felt that the interesting thing about TikTok, if you look at the ownership of ByteDance, 60% of ByteDance is owned by Americans. And it's really American private equity is the largest shareholder in ByteDance. And some of this idea that TikTok is a foreign adversary goes against the U.S. investment firms who are investing on behalf of U.S. pension funds, foundations, endowments. I mean, making that a zero just makes no sense. You're going to find out that your alma mater, your favorite charity, is invested in those private equity vehicles that own ByteDance. It just seems like where some of the narrative just doesn't fit the facts of the situation. ByteDance is owned by Americans.